Thank you very much. It's great to be here in London, all the way also from Canada. If you haven't met a lot of Canadians, we are just like the English, except we sound less fancy. And our entire country is younger than the toilets in this building. But that does mean that we are fresh and new, which is my product segue. What we've actually built is the learning experience platform specifically for financial institutions. The problem that we saw in the industry is threefold. The first is that with all the regulatory and technological changes, it is really quite hard to get employees job ready quickly in the financial industry, and time spent training can be very inefficient. And lastly, employees just really hate training, and they find that it often sucks. So we wanted to make a way to make that fun and interesting, and that's why we built this platform. So what you're looking at here is the main hub for employees. And this is the narrative that propels them through training and gets them to come back every day. We built it based off all the most addictive mobile games. So it's as simple as you earn points from training, purchase boosters with those points, and then go from a small bank in a rural community to a bustling metropolis with your bank at the center. But the only way to actually get through this game and to win is to go through the training. So this is the course screen. It's individualized for each learner, so it really is a personalized experience. If you're phone channel, you're not going to get wealth management and vice versa. Within each course, there's a series of steps, and these can either be game-based learning modules that you build native with our system, or they can be content that you already have. We can actually even package SCORM content from your existing learning system and put it into our platform so you can be rewarded for going through it. But I'm going to show you a couple of these rounds so you can get a sense of what they look like and feel like for the user. So this first one is one of our game-based learning rounds. It's really a spot the error round, and it's great for revitalizing long-form content. So if you've got compliance or GDPR content to run through your staff with, this is a really good one to pop through. So what the user has to do is actually find those errors and then correct them in context. So obviously, this is a little bit better than just being asked to read a PDF and clicking that you've read it. I know I personally am an expert at pretending that I've read PDFs. To your coworker. Yeah, so it's a good way of taking that long-form content and making it feel fun and fresh to the user, and also making sure that they actually truly understand it in context. Of course, after each round, you're shown how well you're playing in the game and how well you've done in this particular piece of content and are improving over time. So that's just one of our game-based learning rounds. We've got 9, and we like to add 1 a quarter just to keep the content fresh for our users. You can also star rate them and comment on it so that you create kind of a social collaborative area for each piece of content so that users can work together to solve challenges. The second piece of our puzzle is product simulators. And we do this a little differently than others in the industry, which is typically a follow the blinking light sort of linear demo. The way we like to do it is create a challenge environment where users actually have to achieve a goal within that product. And the point of this is really to build that confidence so that you can actually recommend these products in real time and actually know it cold so you can talk about it in that sort of scenario. So here, for example, you have to deposit $418 into your personal checking account using your phone. Now that's $418 Canadian, so it's like £3.50-ish. Seriously, my bar tab in this city is going to absolutely kill her. Personal checking. Yeah, so the user actually has to go through the entire process, and that makes them confident in how the product works, so that when they're asked a question in a real customer interaction, they're able to actually comment on it and be able to answer questions. What we found is that users who are able to complete these simulators in under 30 seconds are more than twice as likely to actually recommend that product in a real customer interaction. So we found that very useful, and it's certainly one of our more popular rounds. This last one is one that really bridges the gap and kind of completes that cycle where you actually apply the knowledge in a role-play scenario. So you're faced with a customer who's got a real problem, and then you actually have to go through the process of either talking about a digital product, upselling to a new piece of software or a new service, or dealing with customer service complaints. So what this is really useful for is bridging that gap between product knowledge and empathy, because it's one thing to be able to talk about it and know the facts about a product, but to be able to have the conversations in the way that the financial institution wants employees to have is certainly important as well, and that's where this round becomes really useful. This is certainly our most popular round, and it's fun to write and use because it really is a choose-your-own-adventure story, and it's a good way of really edifying that content so that people truly understand it and know how to use it in a real employee setting. So the last thing I wanted to look through is our authoring side, because of course we're not going to write all this content necessarily. Our clients want to be able to author it themselves and get it up and ready quickly. Now we made this entire author section easy enough for my boss to use it, and if you meet him this week, you'll understand why that's super impressive. So the one round that I'll show you us writing is the spot the error round that we just went through. This is a cool round. You just have to enter a couple small pieces of information. This is the stuff that the users will see when they go through it, but it also defines how difficult it is and how many points they earn from having done it. So this is as easy as it is to write that spot the error round, where you put in some accurate content. Romeo is very handsome. And then you find where you want those mistakes to be, add deviation points, inaccurate content here, and underdressed. Marketing keeps trying to get me to wear a tie. And then when the user goes through it, they'll find what those mistakes are, and rather than the correct responses. So it's really that easy to author it. I always say this round can go up in 20 minutes. It's really quite easy to change when you've got new products or services that go through. So I'd invite you to do is picture a problem that you specifically are facing in your job role, and imagine how much better and easier it would be if all your employees were working towards bettering that goal and actually solving that problem. That's really what our platform does. So I'd love to see you at the booth and talk about it more. Thank you.